Hello lovers, we're gonna dive right into this question because it's a controversial and hot button one. Vice magazine wrote an article on it which they reached out to me to contribute on a while ago, so I have a bit of experience discussing this, but I'm absolutely very curious to know what your guys' opinion is as well. Without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hey Shannon, my name is Jhanyce, and my little question for you is about virginity. I am 21 years old and I am still a virgin, but lately and for some time now, I've seen people selling their virginities online and going through like social media, things like that, selling their virginities for loads and loads of money. And I have thought about doing that in the past. Yes, I have thought about doing that, and I feel so guilty and like wrong for even thinking about doing that. But I want to get your take on, selling your virginity.
Sure, why not? Absolutely not. Ah, here we go again. What's going on with your hair today? I don't know, it's just something different. You don't like it? I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so while you try to figure out how you feel about my hair, would you mind if I go first before you start with the whole holier than thou, the sky is falling speech? Is that okay with you? You're cool with? All right, great. Here's the thing with virginity. The reason I say why not is that virginity is a social construct. This idea and the obsession that our society has that an untouched individual is somehow more pure and sinless and virtuous is complete BS. The person does not change at all, and the act itself doesn't have to make a massive impact on your life unless you want to assign meaning to it. Now, we cannot ignore the fact that there are a lot of college students who find themselves in this exact same position, who have to do some type of sale of self in order to maintain their college status. It's unfortunate, but stripping and tricking and college are not new to each other, so why are we putting this whole other big hoopla around the sale of virginity? Okay, so this one's going to be a slam dunk for me. The idea of selling your virginity may seem like a fast way to make a large lump sum of money, but at the end of the day, that bit of money that feels like it's so important to you right now, down the line is going to feel like pennies. It is going to be meaningless and worthless. What is not going to feel that way is your first experience. Like it, love it, or leave it, that is going to be something that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. I personally wrote the story of my first experience in my book, Laid. It's a story that I often reference to this day. It absolutely doesn't define my sexuality or make me who I am, but it is something that I do reference. It is a big part of who I am and a part of my human experience. When I have kids, it's a story that I'm going to end up telling them. And so when I think about at that time in my life, what would have felt like a lot of money to me, if I would have sold that away to somebody whom wasn't of my choosing, and I do not think the kind of person who's going to buy it is the kind of person that you want to share that first experience with. All right, I think that we all get it, and don't get me wrong, I understand that it's not the best case scenario, and I don't think this conversation is massively dissimilar from us talking about somebody who's selling off their grandma's antique diamond ring, who's been in the family for centuries and centuries in order, again, to stay in college. And yes, it isn't the best case scenario. If you can detach yourself from society's obsession with the idea that virginity somehow defines you or your sexual experiences going forward, and you engage in this activity, you get your money, you stay in school, or whatever it is that money's going to allow you to do. Down the line, are you sincerely going to regret selling off your first time? Nah, it may not be your favorite story to share, but are you ever going to regret your college education? No, that will stay with you for a lifetime, and that in many cases can be more valuable to some than their virginity. All right, everyone, please don't shoot the messenger on this one. But yes, while I understand that we have financial pressures, however, men are not as able to sell their bodies or sell their virginity or strip in clubs, and yet they somehow manage to graduate as well. There are other ways. Don't sit here and tell me that is the only way that you can make money, the only way that you can survive. People in far less better situations with far less means have been able to make it work, and so you can absolutely make it work, and you can find a way. And this is an important lesson that you can teach to yourself, that you are worth the extra mile, that your quality of life, the quality of your experiences, the value that you have for yourself is greater than the quick fixes that you can get in between. So I get it. It's not easy, and no one's saying that it is, but that's not easy either. that's not the easy way out. You think it is, but it definitely down the line is not. So I think to really have this debate, you have to detach yourself from your opinion on whether or not prostitution is a good or a bad thing, because at the end of the day, in every society, before societies even communicated with each other, prostitution was a constant. In a developed nation or undeveloped nation, different religions, regardless of the conditions, prostitution exists and it will exist in this form. What we're trying to answer is if this individual who's looking for an easy come up for money, not an easy come up, I apologize for that, who's looking for a method of making a lot of money in a short space of time, if they should consider it for themselves. This conversation was entirely too stressful.
You don't ever see the full
made it
picture.
stressful.
No, you really don't. You
I
look
don't
at
have the
things
problem.
from like
I actually
this,
do
like
see the
a
big picture because
telescope,
I'm looking
All
at
right, so clearly they're never going to agree. So basically, it's up to you in the comment section below. Which do you think is the better advice, head or heart? In addition, if you have experience or some insight on this topic, please leave it down below too.
Who you gonna call? Not when I'm involved lately. Yeah, I don't wanna know. But I don't wanna feel that way, cause I remember it go down easy. Yeah, I remember it go down easy. Yeah, I remember you had the bleezy.
Yeah, I remember when I had the wheels like, yeah, I know it been before. Like, I know you seen that, like.
We ain't never seen days like that. You ain't never seen days like that.
I don't wanna be something safe. I don't wanna, baby, but I remember it all goes down easy. But I remember it all goes down easy. But I remember it all goes down easy.
I get it, girl.
Na 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 na. Say na 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 na.
Oh yeah, I get it, girl.
Na 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 na.
Yeah, I get it, girl.
Na 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 na.
Oh, and if you don't know, get it, girl.